Hello friends, it's been a couple of minutes. How you doing? I'm doing okay. I'm really thinking about you right now. Tell me the good word. Tell me what's going on in your life. I hope things are well. I hope you're doing well and you're having a great day. Today, we're gonna be finishing this big sketchbook here. This is sketchbook number 10. My 10th sketchbook. I started it at the end of April. It feels like I've been working on it for a lifetime. But we're gonna finish up the last 12 pages today. And if you're new here, my name is Debbie and I'm a full-time artist in Ohio, and I make stationery like greeting cards and stickers and pins and tote bags and all sorts of fun stuff, and some traditional art as well, but you know, like fine art, like art for the sake of making art. I'm so rusty today. So rusty. It's been a couple of weeks. We'll talk about that later. I'm gonna pop a QR code up here, so if you're interested in checking out my shop, which I would love your support as an independent artist, you can scan this and check out everything I do. And you could see if possibly my stuff is in a store near where you live. That would be cool, right? But before we get started, I do want to let you know there is a winner that was picked for the giveaway of these two art prints. Margaret is the winner. I'm gonna pop their comment up here, and I have yet to hear back from them. So if you are Margaret, please check your reply to your comment. If I don't hear back from Margaret by Friday, October 6th, I will draw a new winner. And Margaret does not get in touch with me, you've got another chance. So I will pop a link in the eye, you know, wherever it is. And you can head over there and find out all about it. And I'll put a link in the description also. Yeah, that's about all there is to say for this introduction. And I've missed you and I've wanted to put this out, so I'm excited that we're finally getting to it. So let's hop into this and let's see what I made. We're gonna get into it. It's all good. Okay, we're gonna try something new today. I'm gonna try and pop my head in here and see how that works. This first set of pages, I did the Sophie McPike Scribble Brigade, and we can master that. So the first, I gotta say, I really enjoyed it. If you haven't done the Scribble Brigade before, go to her channel, and you would hit the live section of her channel and you will see the Scribble Brigades that she has for the public. It's basically a live draw with me kind of thing, timed sketches. I think one was a free draw, so this one was master studies, and I had a lot of fun with these, like more fun than I expected. And what I did was the replay. I have a hard time catching lives sometimes, and Sophie's in Australia, so we're like completely different hours of the day, different days of the week. Australia lives in the future, so it is the future. I just started thinking of, if you know Flight of the Conchords, I'm thinking like, it is the future 2000s. The humans are dead. Never mind. We've been watching a lot of Flight of the Conchords in the house lately, so I should say rewatching for me for like the umpteenth time. But anyway, yes, Australia's in the future, so sometimes I don't get the time zone timed up right. She also has a version of this that's just for her patrons. I'll tell you about that later because I do one of those as well. So the first drawing here, the woman in the blue dress, I loved how that one turned out. I felt like I just drew a Disney princess. The flow and the folds of that dress deserve all the kisses from all the chefs in all of the land. Gorgeous. The photo, or the study to the right of it, I think it was a woman. It was a little bit tough to tell, a bit androgynous, I should say. And I don't think that my drawing made it look like a woman. It looked like someone from the Roman Empire. It looked a little Caesarish, little Caesar salad going on. Just, it's like the crown, I don't know. And I thought the shoulder and the neck looked a little too masculine for it. But the next one was a woman sitting in the sand, kind of like doing this in the sand. What is that? So I thought that one turned out really well. I struggled with it a bit. I want to say that Sophie did, I want to say it was 10 minutes for each. The woman in the pink dress was one I did not capture because I think my battery had run out. Run out. I also didn't get this greenish looking girl. I didn't get that one filmed also. So I didn't get everything in this finishing up the sketchbook all completely filmed because sometimes my batteries ran out. I need to buy some more batteries for my camera because I keep charging and having batteries ready, and then like I unplug the charging thing, and then the next time I go to pop it in my camera, it's like, you have 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes before this camera will self-destruct. And what are you going to do? So even like the backup, and the backup one, if it hasn't just come out of like the charger in the wall, like the socket, it's dead. It just doesn't hold charges. I don't know if I just have terrible batteries or just, if that's just the way it is. I don't know. Any camera owners have any advice? Because I don't know. Maybe I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or what, but yeah. So anyhow, like I said, the Scribble Brigade live drawing thing, even though I was doing the replay, it was a lot of fun. I was really intimidated at first looking at these master studies. I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to do these. I thought I'm not great at figure drawing. It's not my strength. And faces can be tough for me too. But I don't know where I pulled out the skills, but I think these turned out pretty damn good, especially I mean, they were beyond my expectations. I was pretty proud of myself for sticking with it and doing these. I think I may have spent more time, like a couple more minutes on each, because I had the luxury of pausing it because it was a replay, but I think I spent a couple more minutes just so I could do some coloring. The sketch part and like I would do like a sketch and a color erase pencil, and then do the ink for line drawing, for like, solidifying the line drawing. That part I did fully with like the sketch, and then I would start the coloring, but I think I was because this was a couple weeks ago when I filmed this, but I paused so I could finish coloring. I have mixed feelings about how I finished the page, which because the first set of pages there was a lot of color in the background already, but that was just because I had a bunch of extra gouache left from the mushroom painting series that I did. And when it's acrylic gouache, it's acrylic. So once it dries, you cannot reactivate it with water. So I just used it on a bunch of sketchbook pages and a couple of sketchbooks, like when I had leftover, because I didn't want to waste it. And then for that one, instead, I decided to just like use a colored pencil because I kind of missed it. So this one is the Scribble Brigade. Let's create a curio cabinet. This was a fun one. So I did this first part that you'll see here that's already drawn. I did that during the live stream. It was at night. I was able to catch it. Rare occasion for me. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I thought it was such a crafty, creative idea. Props to Sophie. I thought this was just such a cute exercise of just like, imagine you have a curio cabinet. If you're not familiar with what that is, it would be like a little collection, like a little shelved drawer or sectioned off cabinet and you put all your little cute little collectibles in there, little trinkets and doodads and bits and bobs. And she picked the subject matter, and it'd be like, here's a bunch of acorns, so just pick one or two, whatever. So I did half of it with the live stream, but because of overuse of these muscles, I tend to start going numb, like down the side of my neck, all the way down. So I have to stop at some point now because I will overwork. And especially during these timed drawings, I tend to get really tight. And the tighter I get, which it's like out of my control, I try to be like, nope, put those shoulders down, loosen up. But when I'm timed, I get like excited and tensed up, and then I scrunch up, and then my muscles get tight, and I pinch off all the circulation to my nerves. I don't know what happens. I'm seeing a chiropractor about it, don't you worry. So I thought it was a cute idea, and it was a lot of fun. The next couple pages are an art hang party with Melissa, and it was vintage cars, which I was excited to do because I actually was one of the people that had suggested it and voted for it. Because I have had this idea to draw all the cars that I've ever driven or owned. Like for a sketchbook thing. I was like one of these things to keep in mind. Like when I don't know what to draw, this could be something I could draw. Like just every car I've driven. Maybe every car I've ridden it. Maybe every dream car. I like cars. I'm not like a big motor head car person. I don't know. What do you call that? I'm definitely not a grease monkey. I don't know much about cars. If you lifted the hood, I'd be like, washer fluid goes there. I think that's the engine. That oil dippy stick thing, I could find that for you, but other than that, I don't know too much. I know how to drive one, Yeah, so she picked out a series of vintage car prompts, and a Vespa, as you can see here. They were a lot of fun to draw, but way more difficult to draw than I had anticipated. Way tougher. And a lot of the cars were like little Fiats. I think that's what they were. They were just like those little tiny Bambino cars. And so we're some of us were having a little giggle, like, we're noticing a theme here. Noticing a little theme here. Some of these cars look alike. So the angles and the perspective, usually I'm not fantastic at angles and perspectives, but the big thing is when you're looking at perspectives, it's like break it down to shapes, draw what you see, not what you think you see, but what your eyes are actually seeing. Like, you're not seeing a full car, you're seeing the front of the car and the back looks smaller, and perspective can really mess with your brain. It really can. So drawing these was a real humbling experience. But yeah. And I did go on after this because I did, I think, most of these live, and then I started having the numbing sensation and had to cut off my drawing time. And then I went back the next morning to finish the prompts. And then I started, since I was on a roll, I started drawing the cars that I had owned. So I went on to do that as well. You'll see that in a minute. So, hey, I wanted to say, as far as things that have been going on, thank you for being patient. If you were waiting for a video to come out last week, I did put a post in the community tab to let people know I was not going to be able to get a video up last week. Like I said, we had a lot of stuff that came up. My husband has had to go home, well, his home of upbringing, I should say, had to go back to Connecticut. We live in Ohio, and he had to drive up to Connecticut 4 times in the last 7 weeks. It's like it's like a, let's say, 9 to 10 hour drive on average. So it's about 1,200 miles round trip going there and back. And the first trip was planned. It was for leisurely purposes. I didn't get to go. I was supposed to go. Things came up. I couldn't. So he took the younger 2 kids. I was home with our oldest. And it was like a fun family visit. Then a few weeks later, my mother-in-law had like emergency surgery and had to have her gallbladder removed at 89 years old. So pretty intense. She's doing well. She is out of the hospital, has been out of the hospital for a couple of weeks. She's on the road to recovery and she's doing well. But, 89 years old, her heart is not in the greatest condition. So I think the anesthesiologist, she said, came in and basically said, your heart's no good. You might not survive this. It was like, great bedside manner. Great job. Can you imagine? So, and she told him, she said, well, I can't live like this with a gallbladder that's about to like self-destruct or explode. So, what were her options? But I thought, you don't go in and say that to someone. Oh my God. But like I said, she's doing well. She's a trooper. When the physical therapist came to see her, they had commented like, you're doing better than most people I see that are half your age and had less like intense surgeries. So she's a motivated person and she will get up and get moving. She's a go-getter. So, yeah. And then after that, my husband, this is, by the way, cutting back to this. These are the cars I've owned. And did I do this the same day? I either did this the next day or the same day, but they look pretty sad. They look pretty sad as if I hadn't had any practice drawing a bunch of cars in a row. Like all of a sudden, any skills I had developed for drawing cars just went down. So the first car I had was a Mercury Sable. I think it was in 1986 or 87. The second car I had was a Pontiac Grand Prix. I think that was in 87. The third car that I draw is a Oldsmobile Toronado. It was a light blue 1980 Oldsmobile Toronado. It looks like a car that should have like, what are those? The hydraulics. It really looked like that. So, plus being the late 90s, and that was like all the rage for hip hop, was like having like a big 70s or early 80s car that you had like on hydraulics. So felt like a badass with that thing. And it was the loudest car, and it only got like 12 miles to the gallon. It was, and it had been my grandma's car. It was my bubby, my Jewish grandmother's car, and she only drove it to like the beauty parlor and the drugstore. Like that was it. So yeah. Oh, here I'm just popping up for Sophie McPike's Scribble Brigade. The one that I'm doing in this section of the video is actually from the Patreon exclusive. So I think you just need to be on the $5 tier and up. I'm on the $15 right now because I do want to get the little prints and stickers in the mail because they're just so delightful. So I'm doing that as long as I can afford to do it. And I gotta tell you, her Patreon's a lot of fun. And everybody that's in the Discord that's hooked up with her Patreon, just such a kind, warm, positive environment. I mean, that's worth it alone. I mean, Sophie's awesome, but she definitely attracts a great positive vibe of people. So I appreciate that. It's kind of nice to have other people to chit chat with and stuff. So this was a like random characteristics, and you draw characters to them. So yeah. Oh, so back to my husband went up for his next visit after like checking and seeing how my mother-in-law was doing. The next time he went up was because a family member had passed away. That was sort of expected, but still rough. So he went alone for that trip. And then last week we were out of town because of an unexpected death of a friend. They were ill apparently for a while, but it was kept pretty quiet and private. So we didn't know about it until a couple weeks before they passed away, that they weren't doing well. So that was pretty rough. But yeah, that's what happened last week. And and before that, my son Charlie had to have an endoscopy because apparently he has celiac disease. That's a new discovery. He's doing fine. He's doing okay. Whatever bit of celiac disease he has, it's like super minor. So he doesn't have really any symptoms, but he was not, I guess his blood work came back that he's not like absorbing proper nutrients and stuff and, whole thing. So we're going to be dealing with that. But other than that, I thought this might be a good time to tell you that I will try to upload when possible. I figure probably twice a month. I will try and do once a week if I can swing it. I just can't promise that just because things got so crazy that, I didn't see these things coming and, life just happens. But if I can upload every week, I will. And if not, don't worry. Don't worry. It's just life happening. This sketchbook will be toured very, very soon. I'm going to film and work on that this week. So hopefully I can get it posted, maybe even by this weekend. That would be nice. If not, it'll be up early next week. And the last couple pages, so I know I didn't get the last 2 pages up there filmed. So here was So this is from the Scribble Brigade, the last one that I did. So it was, like I said, a random characteristic thing. So for example, this says clown face, mushroom with gloves. That's this one. And it was like, let's see, has fins and gills, wearing a wide-brimmed hat, and lots of jewelry. So it was just like random word generator thing, like descriptive words, and you made a character from those words. And then I did not get this part filmed because I think, once again, my battery had died. So these last 2 were not my favorite, but you know what? It finished the sketchbook. And this, I usually don't even do this page, this last, thin page, but the sketchbook is done. So I started it, April 27th and finished on September 20th. So this is ready to be toured, baby. So keep an eye out for that. I will be posting that as soon as possible. And I want to thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you being here and sticking around. If you're not subscribed, please do so. I would love to have you. We're on the road to 600 subscribers one of these days. So we'll get there eventually. Thanks again for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And I love you and appreciate you very much. Bye for now. I'll see you soon. Bye.